Good morning, good afternoon or good evening, wherever you might be watching. My name is Jeff Hudson from United Computer Consultants. Part of my work is to conduct seminars on time management. That is, how do we make the best of the time that we have available? And in this particular video, I'd like to discuss with you how you might well enable better use of your time in the future. So let's have a look at how we can do that. First of all, what are our learning objectives in this upload? Well, we'll look at what is time. Time only ever goes forward. It has a past and a present, but it is the future of time that we're concerned with in learning how to manage our time. We want to have a clear understanding of just what time management is. It's a phrase that is thrown around, but not many people really understand what time management refers to. We need to understand how we currently work, and certainly in that current work, just how productive we currently are. We'll be looking also at 4 productivity variables. We'll look at the keys to time management. How can I manage my time more efficiently? How to prioritize effectively. Are we knee-jerk reactioning to tasks that suddenly arise when we're in the middle of something important? And then we'll look at organizing ourselves for productivity. Remove the clutter on the desk is a simple example. What is time? Well, time only ever has a future. As I mentioned earlier, time that occurred in the past is history. We can't manage what happened to time in the past, but we can manage our time in the future, because we all have the same amount of time in a day. Therefore, if you're managing time, you're not trying to manipulate time per se, you're trying to make the best use of your time. And what is time management? Well, let's look at the definition. It's the act or process of planning and exercising conscious control over the amount of time spent on specific activities, especially to increase productivity. That's accepted as a definition of time management. A leading management consultancy suggests that 18% of the average workday is unproductive. Our goal is to lessen that 18%. What are the keys? Well, we need to plan our work. This goes without saying. Pencil and paper is not dead. Make notes of what plans that you need to make to enable your work situation to be more efficiently handled. Avoid the enemy of time management, that is procrastination. Don't put off till tomorrow what you should or could do today. Focus on what outcomes you want and what are the values of the outcomes. And finally, manage yourself. That is self-discipline. In many ways, this should have been right up the top of the bullet points. How can we manage time? Well, you manage your own activities. That goes without saying. And you can also manage your own behaviours. That is, if you are, for example, a smoker and you're in the middle of an important task, don't put the computer on sleep and go and have a cigarette. That will be a behaviour that you can control and that you can manage. Therefore, time management is really self-management. Let's think about what work is not getting done. Is it paperwork? Is your follow-up behind? Is your filing out of kilter? Not prospecting? Of course, complaints arise and they need to be dealt with. It's easy to put off dealing with a complaint because you perceive that to be painful. And it's one of the great enemies of time management. And I guess it falls very much under the heading of procrastination, putting things off. And of course there are lots more that I'm sure you can think of. The workload. Do you manage reactively? A task arises that a superior, for example, has said, I need this done now, when you're in the middle of an important situation for somebody else. So you need to prioritize and decide what is the task that should be completed first. Or do you react and take the knee-jerk solution? Very often people do this, which means they have to wake up earlier, go to bed later to create more time during the day. That means you're working harder for longer, and in the end that leads to burnout. So avoid that. The management of your time can stop knee-jerk reactions. The 4 variables to productivity. How do we do it? Where do you do it? How you think, what you do. Processes, environment, mindset, and behaviours. And let's look at them. The mindset, the perception. We need to perceive outcome-based thinking. In other words, we need to decide that the outcome that we want is important. We need to begin with a wish to become more productive. We need to arrive at our work day with that thought in mind, that today I'm going to be productive. A sense of urgency. Make sure that you handle the task involved with some urgency, in that we need to know that that task must be finished. If you don't, then you'll find that your performance and your stress levels change. Your stress goes up, your performance drops. And that will happen if you don't follow those 3 first bullet points. What gets in the way? Well, there are lots of things. First of all, not planning. We go into the office with no particular plan in mind. I'll just do this, and then I'll maybe do that, etc. So planning is really important. Multitasking. Multitasking is where we endeavour to do more than one thing at a time. Very often it doesn't work. 99% of the time it doesn't work. Complete a task and then move on to the next. Are you busy but not productive? That's certainly involved in multitasking, where you can be as busy as a beaver, but things don't seem to be happening because you're flitting from one task to another. Procrastination. Well, that should be in big, block, bold, capital letters. Putting off till tomorrow what could or should be done today. The greatest enemy of time management that I'm aware of. Spending time on the wrong things. Self-explanatory. Clutter and disorganisation. Is your desk covered in pieces of paper? You can't find things quickly. Time passes by. You spend a minute or two trying to find that report that you prepared yesterday and printed out. You can't find it because the desk is cluttered, and the time slips away because you have spent time surrounded by clutter. No system. We need to have a system. Particularly where filing is concerned, we need to have a good filing system so we can find things easily. Perfectionism. Sometimes people will look at a document, for example, and they'll decide that it is not 101% perfect. Now, this is not to say that things shouldn't be as good as they can possibly be, but think about the fact that you can spend a lot of time making things perfect in your mind when to somebody else they're perfect anyway. So have a think about that. We need to consider these things in our mindset. Interruptions. Well, interruptions get in the way, particularly if you have an open door situation or you work in an open office. Interruptions can be a major nuisance, and of course they take up time. Distractions. Very, very similar to interruptions. Things occur, the phone rings, it's your friend wanting to know if you can attend the local cinema on the coming Saturday evening. It takes time for perhaps what we might think of as a non-work related situation. Good management of time. Do the tasks well. Make your activities as efficient as you can. Productivity increases with good time management. Control your application to the task in hand. Again, it comes under the multitasking situation where you should do one thing at a time. Don't flit from bough to bough trying to do lots of things at the one time. Determined output. Well, you need to say to yourself, again a mindset, I'm going to produce this situation irrespective of distractions, interruptions and the like. And it is purely a mind thing. It is self-management, self-discipline. The work processes. Think about how and why you do things and the way they are done. Analyze the way you are doing things, and you'll find that with self-analysis and the analysis of what you are doing in work will lead to much better time management. Outcome-based thinking. Are the way you're doing things the most efficient method of achieving an outcome? For example, are you aware of word processing commands? Or do you need to ask somebody, how do I bold some characters? Learn about IT if you're involved in an IT situation. Learn the applications that you're using. The work environment. Set up your surroundings for productivity. Is the phone in the right place? Is there clutter? If there is, remove it. Technology. As I mentioned on the previous slide, learn to use it efficiently. Make sure that you know where the commands are in Word, Excel, etc. A good filing system is really important so that you can find things quickly and easily. Understand how to set up a filing cabinet drawer if you don't already know. Understand how computer files are saved in folders. Your organisation may well have training available for that type of thing. Behaviours. Again, multitasking. Trying to do more than one thing at a time. Do what matters. Plan your work and work the plan. The old adage. And again, I underline procrastination. This completes the first of a two-part look at time management. Think about what has been presented to you. Much is self-management, self-discipline, and certainly thinking about what you do, how you do it, and is it the most efficient way that you can perform tasks in your work environment. In the next presentation, we'll be looking at the 4 Ds: delegate, delete, defer, and do. And we'll look at how to handle telephone interruptions, drop-in visitors, etc. And particularly how to handle email efficiently and how to arrange effective meetings. Thank you for watching.